Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode. We're once again in our home. We've done our adventure. We've collected such things as glowberries and different types of dirt and definitely our totems right here. And now we get to go back to building and updating the town. I've done a little bit of building off camera, primarily because it was more the tedious things. So the first thing we want to do is we want to update our map and see the changes that we've made. Let's do that right now. Here we are. Hello. All right, let's update our map. And there we go. As you can see, a lot's changed. One of the biggest things that we altered is that we took away the giant circle in the town. We've enlarged it, made it wider, because I finished the outer main wall. So now no one can escape and wander off and get themselves killed, but I could expand the town a little bit more. Something that you might have also have noticed, apart from the gigantic set of trees down below, is that we have a green patch behind our main base. Let's go check that out right now. So one of the things that I had mentioned way back when we first started the series was that I wanted to add a lot more green to the town. And in so doing, I wanted to add a giant garden behind our main base. It's not really going to be a garden that's going to be full of like farms and whatnot, but it's going to be more green and lush and kind of like a little paradise in the center of a gigantic desert. And we all know how big this desert is. The wall in the back is to prevent villagers from escaping at the moment. It's the only part in the entire wall that they would be able to jump off and run away from town. So for now, that's going to stay there until we get the top of the wall done, but we're not going to touch the wall today. That's way too much work. One of the things that I really wanted to do today was I wanted to build up our main base. We've kind of neglected a little bit as we've been building up the center of town, but now that the center of town is done, we can start focusing on the main home. So before we get to building, let me show you a couple things that we've done at main base and a couple things we've done outside of base. So the one thing that we did is we finished our enchantment room. In this area, we got the grindstone, we got a heart of the sea, we got a notch apple. We even have some dripping, crying obsidian, which eventually does drip and it lands on our enchantment table. And it's pretty cool. Like that. Is that neat? Another thing that we did is we set up our elevator system. So we have a way to get up and we have a way to get down. Like so. And this takes us to our mining area, which I've cleared out a lot. Started building up what it's going to eventually look like, or at least the style of it. And then when we come down here, and sometimes we have slimes that spawn in this area. We don't have any at the moment, but that's probably because we haven't really been active. We come through here, and again, slimes will still spawn in this area, but I mainly smelt things here and store my goods in these locations. Another thing I want to show you is what I've been up to when it comes to experience. So let me show you my experience farms. Now to get to my experience farms, we have to be outside the actual town wall. And we have to go to the area behind me. So first, we need to jump down the hole. Whee. And here we are, my experience farm. I put this up here just in case any zombies drop down. Keep that closed as well, just in case anything wants to drown there as well. And this is where the zombies come. Now, over in this area is where the spawner is. And then they come up a big tube and they drop down here and they don't have a lot of hit points. So all I have to do is smack them. Now, I'm not going to stand in this area for too long. It gets really loud. And I don't want to bug you guys too much. But I'll show you my little setup. Here's my chest that I've been collecting items in. I've been collecting a lot of these with my Silk Touch because I want a better fortune pickaxe in order to get a lot more ore. Here's 2 axolotls that I saved. Maybe we'll name them later, who knows? And then my bed area. This area also right here has a lot of slimes. So another thing I got lucky with is we have two separate spawners. We have the zombie spawner, and if we go down this hallway, we have our spider spawners. Just in case you're curious, I'll make sure to link in the description below what tutorials I used to make both of these spawners. I found them really easy to follow, and they help me a lot. I don't have any mending books at the moment, or mending on my items, and it's a really good place to come just to get the experience that I need. All right, let's head back to the house. So we're gonna need quite a few building materials. The majority we're gonna need is sandstone, of course, diorite. We're gonna decorate maybe after we're done the roofs and stuff with azalea, flowered and non-flowered. And then we're gonna need a lot of acacia wood, including some chains, lighting, and a lot of warp trap doors. Now that we have all the materials that we need, we can start setting in the floor up above. So the first thing we're going to do on the upper floor is we're going to lay down the polished diorite to make a pattern with the acacia wood. We're also going to add a small trapdoor wood banister around the area behind me. Sure, we can still jump over it and fall down below, but it's going to add a cool accent to the overall feel. We're also laying down the floor plan so we know where all our walls are going to go. So we're going to do that now, and I'll update you on the progress. Now that we have the floor in place, we have to figure out the structure of our build. So I'm going to fill out the sides with sandstone so that we have at least a little bit more of a floor plan. The other thing we're going to do, and we're going to do right now, is we're going to put up our banisters. So let's get that done now. I wonder if villagers like axolotls, because when I took the axolotls out, all the villagers ended up not standing in the water. I wonder if it's just like a mechanic. Interesting. Banisters are installed. Now for the walls. Now that we have the walls set, or at least in place somewhat, we can start thinking about where we want certain things to be. The space behind me, I was thinking of having my main bedroom area. I was thinking possibly having a balcony outlooking my garden area, having the bed right here, and then, I don't know, storage or special display items in this corner. We definitely want a dividing wall here, but we'll get to that later. Another thing that I was thinking about is having like an up balcony overlooking the town here, which would be really cool. We could decorate it, make the front of the place look fancy. And then over here, we could have the crying obsidian turned into like a kind of water pool display. And then over here, we can have another balcony outlooking the rest of the more noble district. So I'm thinking possibly we can start working on the fountain. All right, so the first thing we want to do is take the chiseled sandstone, and we want to put it on the four corners. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we want to take the cut sandstone and fill it up, like so. We're leaving this space right here so we can put some stairs. We're going to use the smooth sandstone stairs right here. And then we can fill the rest in with water. But before we do that, we want to add the rest of our details. A part of the crying obsidian is going to be up at the top for display. Maybe we can put a soul lantern up here, make it a little bit eerie. We're going to take our sandstone walls and we're going to go 3 up. Like so. And then we're going to tower up a little bit. And we're going to put our chiseled sandstone again. Like so. We're going to take our sandstone stairs and we're going to face inward. And then we're going to take the stairs and we're just going to go around in a circle, around in a circle, and around in a circle. Or a square. Remember, structure is always key, so we want to add the structured bits, but we'll do that with the smooth sandstone stairs. And we'll do another smaller square. And for now, we're going to leave it because I think eventually we might have to tie this into the overall roof. But what we can do is we can add the water. There we go. We got a little pool area. And let's add a soul lantern. And there we go. We may change it a little bit later, but for now, I like how it looks. Talking about soul lanterns, one of the things we have to do is we have to decorate the inside here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take chains, as well as lanterns and soul lanterns, and we're going to hang them down in a kind of squarish circle, one at a time, leading all the way down. The other thing that we want to make certain is that these blocks right here, 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 and here are going to be the soul lanterns, and then the ones that are going to be up in that area are going to be the normal lanterns. That way we can get a little bit of variety as well as a cool lighting effect. So I'm going to do that real quick, and then we'll come back and look at the final result. And this is what we have. It's not a super falling down circle, but it does look pretty cool. It's slightly uneven, which adds for a really cool effect. And it's hanging down and it's going to light the whole area, so we don't have to worry about spiders spawning. So the next thing we're going to want to figure out is our base areas on the outside. Before we start anything and building up the walls on the second level, we're going to make sure that the support beams make sense on the bottom level. So this is an outreaching balcony. We want to have it come outward, but we also want to have it make a little bit more sense. So we're going to add 2 pillars on either side with the acacia wood, and we're going to strip it. And then we're going to add 2 big support blocks on either side to hold the balcony up, as well as the walls that will eventually be on top. So I'll show you that when it's done. So one of the things that I totally didn't consider is that originally when I made the design in the creative world, it's done on a flat world. So I didn't take into account that this area would have many different levels to it. In so doing, bringing down the pillars like this right here is fine, but right here, I had to delete some of the stairs. That means I'm going to have to completely rework the stair area if I want 2 exits to be here. But in all honesty, there doesn't have to be 3 exits in the back. We really only need the one, and the one looks pretty regal as it is, so it's not a huge loss. And with a little bit of editing, the wall, to me, looks perfectly okay. We have the windows outlooking this area, and then we have a cool design on the side. In the original design, this was just supposed to be pillars being supported. But in the new design, I'm thinking because we had to get rid of the stairs, we want to add something different. So instead of just having grass here and some pillars and just a cool window, we could add a pool. And the pool could come running down here, coming over here, and maybe filling up this area right here. Make it a little bit more decorative and fill in the empty space. And there we have it. We have the water behind, we have the cool base area. All we need now is to strip the wood and decorate the outside. I've also done the exact same thing on this side, made the pool a little bit different, so we had a little bit of change on either side, but it's looking pretty cool. The only other thing I have to do is add the waterfall. So we'll get this stair, and we'll put this one down, and this one down, and it's looking pretty nice. Taking the stairs away wasn't a huge change, but it was enough to make the area look a little bit nicer. Eventually, we're going to have to come around and texture up these walls a little bit more, make them a little bit more like the tower rather than all one set stone wall, but we'll do that way later into the build. Now we just have to take the axe and smooth out the wood. I like it. The next thing that we're going to want to do is we want to go around the whole area and add a little bit more structure to each side. I'm going to do that off screen primarily because it's not the most exciting process, but I will show you around once I'm done. So I've done a couple of edits. I got a little carried away, so I'm going to show you some of the things that I've done. So as you can see here, I've added a lot of lanterns and a lot of detailing to the overall build. I've also added 3 new windows facing out towards this area. We have the pool window kind of archway, and then we have the 2 windows up here. On this side, We have that window there, and we have another balcony, kind of balcony, probably going to be a flower pot area. And then over here, we have the same thing that we have over there. Now, if we go to the front of our build, there's a little bit of change. We have added flower pots to the entrance, as well as other lanterns and a little bit of texture here and there within the actual wall itself. Now, if we go up to the top, there was a couple of accents that I wanted to add, but I decided to show you guys. So as you can see, I have the balcony up here, which I'm still working on, the 2 windows here, the 3 windows here, and a big archway here. So the things that I wanted to do was add a bit of accent, and we're going to do that with some warp trap doors. We're going to use these trap doors as windows. So we're going to add one here and here, like so, and the same all the way up here, like that. This allows our build to have a little bit of accents here and there without being too overpowering. Now in this area, we want to add kind of like a blue lattice type feel. Nothing too overpowering, but enough to look halfway decent. Now, apart from everything else, we want to add a little bit of foliage here, and we have a little bit of design and style. We might be able to add a little leaves here and there, maybe we'll add a tree, I'm not sure. But for now, if we jump down, ouch, it looks really pretty, and I'm liking it so far. And out on the sides, we have the blue accents, which are actually really nice and complementary to the overall build. We don't want everything to be sandstone, so we need little touches of blue here and there, and little touches of the orangey texture from the acacia wood as well. And so far, it's looking pretty good. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to work on finishing the walls and finishing the roof. And when I'm done with that, I'll give you guys another little tour. All right, so we're done. Our base, our main base, the one that we started from the very get-go, is finished. At least like the exterior is finished and only a little bit of the interior. And I have to find some like way to light it up without it being too many torches, because right now there's a lot of torches. But you know what? Let's take a look. Let me show you around. If you see the back, you can see that there's a lot of lanterns, but I'd rather have lanterns hanging than there being torches everywhere. Now, the room with the windows with the orange trap doors, that's actually my main room. I did manage to decorate that, so I'll show you that in a moment. We go around here and there's that little open garden. I haven't decorated it yet, but we'll get around to that. That's a little bit of a small bit. If we go down here and look up, we can see it from afar. It looks pretty cool. That section definitely looks completely different than this section does. And then we'll go back inside and we can look up. And there's a lot more detail and little tiny light sources here and there to make it look a lot more cool. So we're going to go up these stairs. So I tried to add as much texture differences as possible. The hanging lights, the different colored lights, the pillars leading up to the ceiling, the cool skylight texture, the balcony. I decided to make the crying obsidian grow crystals, which I thought looks pretty cool. And we even have this balcony over here. We walk through here and here we go. I wanted to play a lot with purples, and teal or cyan is what we've been playing with the whole time as the accents of the main build. The purples and the azalea bushes add a little bit more color and texture to it. I added the glowberries because how could I not add the glowberries? Now I had to add a lot of lanterns because I had creepers constantly spawning in here. Oh, and I have a little chandelier, including my bed. Purple again with our very first ever diamond and a little canopy above. But before we end off this episode, let's go and do one more thing. We have 2 name tags and 2 important characters in this town to name. Now I have 2 name tags in my inventory, one to the left, one to the right. The first name tag that we're going to use is on my black cat behind us. This cat is Noelle, which I've shown you before, and this cat is my cat I've had for a very long time, and her name is Nissy. So we've named Nissy, and just in case you're curious, for all your cat lovers out there, this is what my cat looks like. And we have one more animal to name, our trusty steed, who does not have a name but has joined us through all our adventures and has survived the entire time somehow. Thank you very much to subscriber Nexttune for suggesting the name Cricket, and that will be his name, Cricket. There you go, buddy. Your name is now Cricket. And I think he deserves more than gold armor, don't you? There we go. Cricket, the diamond armor horse. So that concludes this episode, everyone. Thanks for joining me. Sorry about not uploading last week, but Minecraft was causing me a lot of issues, and for some reason I couldn't access my account. But everything's solved, so I can keep making more episodes. Well, I'll see you next time. Bye!